Why did I sabotage your property? Because if the law won't punish you, then we will. This was an act of self defense. How to Blow Up a Pipeline comes to us courtesy of Neon Studios and was written and directed by Daniel Goldhaber, who did Cam, a movie I need to check out, heard some very good things about. Also written and starring Ariella Barer, who plays Xochi. I really had to pay attention to how they said that name, considering the spelling really threw me off. I want to say right now, Ariella, very, very good in this, and other people include Christy Forsyth, who played Rowan. Rowan, if you want to, Rowan around the world. And then a man named Logan, played by Lucas Cage, who actually did end up going on a run. Logan, how's the run going? I'm sorry, I had to say it. I really had to say it. Theo, played by Sasha Lane, who really reminds me of a young Lisa Bonet, and various other people. This is about a group of environmentally sound individuals that want to, wait for it, blow up a pipeline. And they figure out how to blow up a pipeline. This was also based on the book by Andreas Malm and was also written by Jordan S.J.O.L. He also helped executive produce this. So I heard a lot about this movie. Heard it was both one of the best and one of the most polarizing movies of the year. This involves various people that, for their own reasons, want to blow up this pipeline. And we see certain, just enough of a setup with each individual character, at least the main characters in this group, as to why they have the motivations to want to do this. And the one thing I liked about this movie, among the many other things I liked, is it just gives you enough to understand why they're doing this, but not like, oh, you have to root for this person, oh, you have to do this. No, if you want to root for them, great, but they're basically eco-anti-heroes. That's essentially what they are. They're anti-heroes with stars in their eyes. They're anti-heroes that are going to blow up some lives. And that's what's great about this movie, is it doesn't basically hit you over the head to tell you to decide how to feel about these characters. Does it do the eco stuff where the planet is fucked and something needs to be done? Sure, but not to the point of The Happening or other movies like that. This also has great camera work where you basically feel like you're eavesdropping or being almost forced to go along with these people, and you are part of these various crimes that are taking place. Not everything goes smoothly, and certain twists and turns in the plot happen, but Ariella Bear, she's great. She's great in this. I can't wait to see what else she does. Sasha Lane, she's also great. And in all honesty, pretty much all the characters here are great, though there is one point where it tips its hand pretty obviously that there could be something going on in this group. Maybe everything isn't what it seems to be. I did like the chapter break explanations, and we get a title 6 minutes in, and we get various people, find out like there's some tension here, but there's obviously a camaraderie because they feel the planet's fucked. These pipelines shouldn't be happening. They're affecting so many people's lives. So many people are getting sick. So many people are being uprooted from their homes. So many, economic impacts. It does a lot of really great stuff with, again, without hitting you over the head with it. And then we just get more stuff about the characters. Not enough to maybe like, okay, I see exactly why they're doing this. But just enough that it gives you a scotch, and a reason to feel that these people actually could be among you. Because there are some that are working regular jobs. There are some that are going to school. These people walk among us. Yeah, if you're against, this kind of shit happening, and against activism, you probably aren't going to enjoy this movie. If you're like me, and I know I'm like me, if I wasn't like me, who the fuck else would I be? You appreciate that people are willing to go to these lengths. And from there, we have a movie and one of the best offerings from Neon Studios in a while. This definitely is polarizing, but it's also one of the best films of the year. I absolutely see why this film was praised so highly by audiences and by critics. Now, I had already done my midway point best and worst movies of the year list. This would have been on there, and it will likely end up being on my favorite films of the year in December. Great stuff, great acting, good character development, very gritty feel to it. Proves that even with the best laid plans, things can go wrong. And then eventually everything comes to a conclusion, and then we get the start of possibly maybe a series of movies. No, we're not going to get a series of movies here, as hilarious as that would be. How to Blow Up a Pipeline 2. Yes, we're doing this again, Boogaloo. But we do get the idea that, sometimes you can't start a fire without a spark. And it's guns for hire, and then they're going to blow up this pipeline, not in the dark necessarily. It's a pretty damn good movie. Really recommend it. Check it out. It is available on Amazon to rent. Will probably be on a streaming service at some point. I happily plunked down a few bucks for it. And Neon Studios and A24. A24 and Neon Studios, pretty much 1 and 1A, my favorite studios. So there we go. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Okay, so during some of these flashbacks and chapter things, we find out that Theo, Sasha Lane, is terminally ill with leukemia. That could have happened living near a chemical plant in Long Beach. Sochi is really the one being the driving force behind this. And then there's characters Logan and Rowan. And it turns out that Rowan and Logan were caught doing stuff in Portland, Oregon. And Rowan cut a deal with the FBI. And that's basically what we end up having happen. It turns out Rowan cut a deal, but cut a deal to only have certain people go to jail. Certain people would get off on this thing, and the FBI would look like heroes, and everybody would get lighter sentences. And also, it was kind of neat to see them set up this little thing. Like, they had this compound. There was this guy, Dwayne, that was in it, who lived in the area. They were in West Texas, Odessa specifically, near Amarillo, a town that Dory Funk Sr. used to run. Yes, the Amarillo, Texas territory. That's a deep cut for wrestling fans. If you're not a wrestling fan, you have no fucking idea who Dory Funk Sr. is. Terry, what are you doing? Horny, I don't know. There, again, deep cut for wrestling fans. They set the stuff up. They get barrels, make explosives. Michael in particular, who's played by Forrest Goodluck, who didn't have a lot of good luck here. He experiments with explosives and chemicals, and at one point almost blows himself up. He lived in North Dakota and was pissed off that people were moving in on, Indian land, Native American land, and kind of don't blame him. I don't. But we do get some, we just get everybody's origin stories just enough to give us an idea of what's going on. And then the plan doesn't go off without a hitch. Alicia, who is, it depends on how you pronounce it, who's Theo's girlfriend, or what I think girlfriend, I don't actually think they're married. She gets her leg busted when the barrel falls because one of the straps was frayed because it wasn't trying to save a life. Haha. And now they have to make a splint out of sticks. And everybody basically realizes, well, shit, this is going tits up. They managed to get the pipeline blown up, because otherwise How to Blow Up a Pipeline would be like, well, that's not good. Anyway, what ended up happening is, yeah, Rowan ended up making a deal, and certain people were going to go to jail, but they were going to be seen as the start of a movement. And then we see the very end of the movie taking place in Miami, Florida, with more of these pamphlets that were there in the beginning. Why am I sabotaging your property? Because the law won't punish you, I will. There's this big, long thing that I could have written down on notes, but I didn't really want to. It's a great movie. It's really, really great. I fucking loved it. So, yeah, A+. Gets a goddamn A+. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Recklin. I'll see you soon.